Hey Malika.
Hi.
Welcome to the PLT podcast.
Thank you.
So excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
We finally got you on the PLT podcast.
I know, between schedules. You guys are really busy too, though.
We are.
Isn't just me.
Not as busy
You
as
have a
you.
full schedule.
We're both busy. As PLT's longest standing brand ambassador, it made sense. We had to get you here. So thank you very much for joining us. Can you tell me about your journey with PrettyLittleThing? You've been a brand ambassador now for 2.5 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years. It's crazy because I was thinking about that on my way over here and I was like, it's been 2.5 years. Where'd the time go? But I guess when you're enjoying yourself and you feel like you're a part of a family, and like, obviously I see you all the time and all the other staff, and it is one big family. So it's like, it's just a joy. It's amazing to call like work home.
Yeah. And how did it all begin? Because I actually don't know this question. I know that you're very close to our CEO, Uma.
Yeah.
But how did it all begin for you? What was the initial reach out?
Well, I knew about the brand already from previous ambassadors, which I was like, oh, it's really cute. It's very sweet. I love the website. I love the clothes. Like, I think I had PrettyLittleThing long before I ever knew Umar or even had the idea of working with, the company. So it became like, it was introduced to me, and then Umar and I met, which Umar was like, I have never, ever hired a girl that I've never met. So I was the girl. So we sat down and we had lunch and we hit it off. I swear our lunch may have been like 3 hours long. It was a lengthy one. And of course we were like drinking and talking and laughing. And then it just gelled. It made perfect sense for both of us. So it was like it's like me and PrettyLittleThing, love at first sight.
And recently you were at the Daily Front Row Awards. I saw you there and you actually collected an award for us, didn't you?
Yes.
It was for Best Digital Retailer. How did that feel?
First I thought he was kidding when he asked me to do it. First I was like, you want me to do what? I was like, I don't accept awards. But then again, it just speaks to being a part of a family. There's nothing that you won't do, when someone needs you. And then on top of that, I was just really proud of him and happy for you guys. So I was like, you know what? I wasn't thinking about myself. I knew I was going to be nervous. I knew I was going to have whatever angst, but I was like, I got past it because I was like, it's not about me. Let's just go celebrate his accomplishments. So that's what I did.
You didn't come across nervous at all. Your speech was incredible. Did you prepare it beforehand?
In a way, I felt like Umar and I spoke and I was like, I wanted to make sure that his message was clear. I didn't want to do his job, but I wanted it to be clear that I had accepted something for him that he was proud of, and that his voice was somewhat heard.
Well, I think you definitely did that.
Thank you.
You also mentioned in an interview on the red carpet how the PLT shoots, the brand ambassador shoots, have kind of brought you out of your shell. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that, because I find that really interesting.
Well, it's 100% true. Wow. I have never worn more color in my life. And I'm just a very safe, comfortable person. I'm very true to myself. And I've never thought that there was anything wrong with that. But I think working with PrettyLittleThing, and doing shoots and having, Sophia come to me and say, I think you would look great in this. Sometimes you do have to trust people that care about you and have learned you, and say, there are things that you can do that you're probably not even allowing yourself to because of the conversation you have in your head. Okay. And I guess I just learned to trust the people that I was working with. And it's given me so much more than just a job, the way that I pick things to wear. I'm like, why don't I try this? Why don't I do this? And I think that's what's cool about PrettyLittleThing's brand. When you go to the website, you can find something for everyone. If I decided I wanted to dress like a completely different person tomorrow, I could. So it's really allowed me to just branch out and have fun. And it really has been.
And that's what PLT is all about. Yep. Being girly and fun.
Yeah.
Now, you've always supported us from day one. You're a big support system to us at PLT. You actually came to the launch party of the Melrose office, which we're sat in now with Chloe. Tell me a little bit about that night.
It was a very hectic night. I didn't know that it was going to be this packed in here. So now I feel like I'm actually getting to see what this is my real launch. That launch was it was so crazy, but so nice. There was just so much going on. Yeah. All in all, it's like watching them cut the ribbon and all cute cocktails. And there's 1,000 photos. I mean, we have great memories. Yeah. Our pictures are great. Maybe our faces weren't that good, but we were very serious, but it was still a good time. It was still good that we came out. We needed that.
And that was picked up a little bit with the series faces. Obviously, a lot of things had been happening that week and the previous week. So how was that coming out for that evening? Because obviously it must have been hard for Chloe and yourself coming to such a large event.
I think it's just important. I think it speaks to how life goes. You know, things are always going to try to knock you down or they'll make you uncomfortable. You'll even be sad. But you sometimes have to force yourself, and you might need a friend, you know, to get up and get out and do the things that you would still love to celebrate otherwise. Yeah. And that's what we did. You know, you put things to the side for a minute to just enjoy yourself and celebrate something that was so good. So
well, we appreciate you guys being there, of course. And you actually both launched a collection which was with Becca Cosmetics, the BFFs range. Tell me a little bit about that. How exciting.
Oh, Becca BFFs. It's probably like Chloe and I have done so many great things together. It is truly a blessing to be able to work with your best friend. Yeah. You know, and it isn't something that we just started doing. We've been doing it for years. You know, back when I was really heavily acting, when I was filming the movie, she was in Atlanta with me. And then when she came back here and I kind of gave up on acting and I started working at Dash. And then when she was out of the store more, then I became her assistant. Then we started shooting shows together, and now we did a collection. So we've been able to evolve in our relationship and keep a good business relationship and like do the things that we love together. And that's a plus. You don't hear that often. No. Not too many people get to do that.
That's an incredible story. I didn't actually realize that how long you guys have been working together, because obviously I've seen you on Keeping Up, on the Kardashians for a long time. Yeah. But I didn't realize you had so much history. I knew you did
we've been friends long before there was a show. We were kids.
No way.
So we've grown up together. I think Chloe may have been 15 and I was 17. Wow. So yeah. I just aged myself.
You could still pass as 18, Malika. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
So taking it to the Kardashians, what is it like being under the spotlight, under the camera so much?
I don't take it as personal as far as the camera and spotlights are concerned. I mean, they really do own their own light. Yeah. I mean, I'm privileged to be around and see a lot of those things, but it really doesn't bother me. I feel like I'm always along the ride, like supporting and being a part of, you know, all the things that they do, which are really great. I really am okay with not being that famous. They handle it so perfectly, you know what I mean? But like, it's really not for everybody.
No, you're not too bothered about being famous. So do you think that if you could go back maybe 10 years, would you do anything differently? Because you're famous,
No, but
Malika.
I think what it is, you know, I've acted my whole life. Yeah. But it didn't bring a certain kind of celebrity with it. You know, it was all about honing your craft and playing characters that you loved and doing fun commercials or movies or whatever. I've always loved that. I always will. But this is a different, you know, the business changed a whole lot. You know, everyone's a celebrity and everyone gets pictures taken and everyone does. So it's not abnormal. It's a blessing and a gift to call this work.
So tell me a little bit more about the acting, because I'm excited. Like, what's going on with the acting now? Will you ever pick it back up again? Is there anything in store?
It's funny that you asked because I just signed with a new agency 2 days ago. 2 days ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
How exciting.
Well, I think it's just, I did quit. I quit years ago because I was only comfortable having an acting career with my sister. Right, yeah. And, you know, it's like I came into this world with someone. I'm like the epic twin. So it was like my comfort blanket was my twin. And then when it wasn't her, it was Chloe. So, and now I just finally have the confidence to say I have a void that I'm not feeling. And it's because I'm a very artistic person and I loved acting and I love the creative side. And it's something I'm going to give back to myself.
How exciting. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see what happens in the next year.
Me too.
You mentioned your twin then. Let's talk about her. So the connection, I guess, only a twin can know. I don't know, but I understand that it's the craziest, best connection in the world.
It really is. I probably can't speak to what it's like to be a single because I'll never know what that's like. Yeah. But being a twin is the greatest relationship that I know. I've had, and not all twins are as close as we are. Yeah. I've had my sister for every area of my life. So, you know, like her kids call me Auntie Mommy. Like we've shared our careers. Like her poor husband has 2 wives. It's just like we're so very, very close. And everyone that knows us knows that we don't know anything better than each other.
And how does she feel now, so that you're going to pick up the acting career again? And like you said, you're going to go off solo. How does she feel? Is she very supportive?
She is. She's very supportive. I think she was a little more surprised when I told her, only
really?
because I haven't been talking about it. It was just something I just did.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, by the way, I signed with an agency today. And she's like, oh, you did?
No
Good,
way.
congratulations. Yeah. And I think also it might be motivation for her, because I know that she misses it too. So, you know, we could work together, we could work individually, but I think I need to take a step in that direction. It might be helpful for her to see it too.
So exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's happening. Let's talk about as well a little bit more about reality TV. So Celebrity Big Brother, you came on the show, the UK version. I remember seeing you and I was like, oh my God, it's Malika. And I think, do you know what?
I'm a crazy person.
I'd met you at PLT in Manchester. So for everyone that doesn't know, Malika has been to the HQ in Manchester.
A few times.
She's full on a family member, like credited family member. And yeah, you were at our PLT drinks, and I think I actually had a really drunken photo. I was drunk, and I had a photo with you, and I was like, Malika's just in our office. And this was like, you know, the podcast didn't exist then. I don't think we really did much. I didn't do much presenting then. And I just remember meeting you and be like, wow.
Wasted in Manchester.
I mean, the best way to be. And then I saw you on Celebrity Big Brother. So tell me a little bit about your experience with that. Because I know obviously it was fun, but there was some downsides towards the end.
Celebrity Big Brother it's not just a culture shock. It's a shock to your spirit. Wow. Like you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to give up my phone. I'm going to live with a bunch of strangers. You say that to yourself, but there's absolutely nothing that prepares you for that process other than going through it. So it's shocking. It really, truly is, in ways that you think that you're sane and sound. And I didn't even have a pen and paper to write down my thoughts. So I was like so sick of thinking, so sick of talking to myself, so sick of like coaching myself from, you know, don't you get up and leave, don't you climb your. There was a point where I just couldn't hold it together anymore, because it's really challenging. And I take my hat off to those that they just sustain through and through. Those are the ones that deserve to win, to be honest with you. They're just like, they're not shook by anything.
You had a lot going on whilst you were in there as well, didn't you?
I was sick on 2 different occasions while I was in there, but I was also not used to the weather. You know, it's always sunny out here. But when you're inside the house, they're also blowing the AC. Yeah. Like an effort to keep you awake. And I'm like, oh no, my little thin-skinned self can't take it.
Oh my God, because you were always cold.
I was always cold. They didn't want me to keep my blanket. I get it, because it's like you let one person do something, everybody wants to do it. And did I want favoritism and special treatment? Absolutely. Yes. I'm like, you don't want me to leave, right? You want me to stay. And that was the thing I promised. I promised I wasn't going to leave. I only felt like I wanted to leave when of all the things I had, when you started to take my food away, that was the only comfort I felt. Yeah. The only comfort I felt. I was like, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to tap out. Then I realized, I was like, if I leave, I am letting all these people down that have literally been feeling the exact same ways that I'm feeling. It was just one of my weaknesses.
That's really strong of you to actually to notice that, because when you are going through something like that,
yeah, we're relying on each other. Absolutely, you're relying on each other, and it's easy to get selfish in that situation. I mean, you're left to your own thoughts and you're left to your own securities, and sometimes your insecurities will take over, and you'll just be like, I don't know if I'm strong enough to do this, but I swear it made me stronger. And I spent a lot of time in that house thinking about, you know, the things that I wanted to do and how I wanted to better myself when I got out, and I've done them. Oh, so I owe, thank you, CBB.
Is there anything you can share with us about it?
Since I've done, so one of the number one things I wanted to do when I got out of the house was freeze my eggs. Wow. So I did that in June of last year.
Oh my God, I've just got a shiver. Yeah. That's exciting.
It's a tough process, but it's so worth it. It's a different level of insurance, like life insurance, health insurance, baby insurance.
So you thought a lot about that in the house? Like, was it going
I
through your
did.
mind?
I was stuck in my head thinking a lot about the things that I hadn't done to better take care of myself. Yeah. It was almost like when all of my privileges were taken away from me to eat what I wanted to eat, to exercise, to even shower whenever I wanted to. I started to think about the ways that I had taken life for granted when I was given all those privileges. And I was like, you know, there are things that I could be doing to better my own life. And freezing my eggs was just one of them. And I swear it gave me the greatest sense of relief that the one thing that I know will be a super special part of my life in the future, I've secured it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is so you took away a really big positive from celebrity.
I did. I really did. I think that's what's important in anything that you do.
Yeah.
There will always be a negative, especially if you're looking for it, but there's a positive there too.
And you found it.
You just got to find it.
So now being on the flip side, you're back in the US. Obviously, you've been back in the US for a long time, but you've seen what it's like to be on UK reality TV. You've been on US reality TV. You've been on film. What's your thoughts on UK reality TV compared to US?
I actually think UK
you
reality
can be really
TV,
honest
no,
here.
it actually seems safer.
Oh, really?
Than US.
That's
I would
interesting.
never do. Hold on. Mommy says don't say what you never do. I do not think I would ever sign up to do Celebrity Big Brother in the US.
Wow. How
I
cool.
think that to do it in the UK, because I felt like I was more into the UK than I would have been into Americans, because I know Americans. I am American.
Yeah.
The UK aspect and being around different cultures and ideas and learning, that saved me. I felt like I was open to that. But then again, that was also my experience. So I can only speak to like the people that I met and, you know, the things that I learned, and like that I'll never forget that ever.
I don't think we will either.
No.
And what about your favorite shows? Do you have any favorite reality TV shows? UK, US?
My favorite reality shows. I'm a big reality show watcher.
Ooh.
I am, but like mine is more like docu on everyday people stuff. My assistant and I, Samantha,
I can see her nodding in the background like, yeah, she likes them.
We watch a show called Married at First Sight.
Okay, no, I've heard of this.
Have you?
Everyone in the room is nodding.
Married at First Sight is one of the best experiments I have ever seen on reality television. I feel like
it's coming to the UK.
Yes.
I've seen an advert. That's why I just went,
90 Day Fiance is another.
No.
I live for all of these shows.
I feel like these are all marriage related, Malika.
Kind of. Really, you know what it is?
You just like a bride.
I am more interested in the dynamics between men and women than anything else. I would watch a relationship on a couple way before I would a group of 5 women. That's not really my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because for me, I guess it's a lot more catty too. And I don't have relationships like that with women. So it's not something I can really relate to. Some of that drama would really get on my nerves after a while. And I get it. It makes for great television. It really does. Can't say I don't watch it all, but the stuff that clues me in truly, men and women, for sure.
With that, do you ever watch the Kardashians? Do you ever watch yourself, Chloe, and the other guys back?
It's a guilty pleasure, not something
it is for me too.
I know it's not something you like. Sometimes I'll turn on a break. If I've seen the episode, I'm not going to watch it a second time.
Yeah.
But like, I still like to know everything. I'm like, how did this one pan out? How did this one go? Whatever.
Yeah, where did it go?
Yeah, because it's not big. We're not big on like talking to each other about episodes. So you don't
Did you catch last night?
Yeah, like, did you see us? Like,
did you see the face you pulled, Malika?
That's not how that goes. So yeah, you definitely want to see it and know how it goes. I'm like, you also want to see what everybody else is seeing.
I actually love what
it's
not even a guilty pleasure for me. I'm obsessed with watching it, and I can't wait for the next series. And I know that everybody at PLT is dying to watch it. What can we expect from the next series? Do you know any intel?
Oh, 16?
Mm-hmm. The big one.
16 is deep, honey.
I can't wait.
I mean, it's hard because I think I might say that about every season, but I can't be the one to spoil it. You just got to tune in.
There's a lot coming though.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's all we need to know.
It's always a lot.
It's always a lot. Okay, now social media is a huge topic of conversation at the minute, whether it be good, bad, positive, negative. How do you think it impacts you as a person, if it does?
I think social media has impacted everyone. Your impact could be positive. Your impact could be negative. It could be somewhere in the middle. I think having been on social as long as I have, I've had the entire scale, which I think you have to learn anything that you're involved in on a regular basis. How you have to decide what presence you want to have and how much of that you want to live in your spirit. Like my life is not Instagram. Like I don't take that to bed with me at night. And it's hard to listen to people's opinions and all of that all day long and not have some of that stick to your spirit, because those become the voices those comments become the things that you hear,
yeah,
you know, more often than not. And I should say, it's like stick closer to the more positive things.
Yeah, for sure.
And when things aren't positive, because you can't predict or like determine how everything's going to turn out, stay away from it. I believe everyone should take a social break.
For sure.
You know, we have a rule when we go to dinner with my friends, everybody puts their phones in the middle of the table. We'll have a pile as high as this cup of just cell phones, because we've lost the art of just spending time with each other, when one-on-one time and communicating and eye contact is the most important thing. Important.
Yeah.
It's something that I think maybe the younger generation has to learn, but we all had to learn it.
Mm-hmm. And how about if you do ever experience any negative on social media, whether it be about you or one of your friends, how do you deal with that? Because I guess sometimes it can be really difficult for someone like yourself to not want to comment on a situation, and to not want to maybe respond to something.
Talk about everything. Mm-hmm. So I really truly believe that if there's something that's on your mind that is not being dealt with or addressed, you allow it to fester. Mm-hmm. It becomes more of a presence in your life than it probably needs to be. Like, everyone should have someone that they talk to about everything, whether it's social media or something someone said to them at school or how their boss treated them that day. Like, when you don't let that stuff out, you're normally just in your own head, and that's the only dialogue you have. Sometimes things can be thought out. It's like, if someone says something negative to me, I can say it to someone else. I'll be like, what a jerk. Yeah. And then someone else will be like, yeah, but think about what that person might be going through. You have no idea. And honestly, I don't. And that person doesn't know what I'm going through either. It doesn't make a difference whether I eat or sleep. It really can't. It shouldn't. It's not nice. You know what I mean? It's not nice for people to say derogatory, mean things, but we're human. We all do it. And it doesn't mean that we're condemning anyone to hell. You know what I'm saying? But we're human. We don't always do the nicest things, but you shouldn't have to carry that with you all the time.
No, for sure. And who do you turn to if you are ever feeling low and you want to talk to someone? Who is it you turn to? Is it your twin?
My list is long, long, long.
Tell me.
I have a mother that is the brightest, sweetest, most forgiving human being on this planet. Wow. My sister, my best friend, my man, my assistant, my makeup team, there isn't, and God, mommy, I love you. I have so many strong women in my life that have been through adversity that some people will never know about. Yeah. And they're still strong and positive and peaceful and kind. And those are the people that I advise on everything. Down to the smallest things. I stubbed my toe the other day. Everybody got a phone call.
Tell me about the toe. What happened?
The dumbest thing in the world, though. It's like I have a chair that's been in my living room for 5 years, and I just happened to walk by it and decide I was going to snag my toe on it. I can barely walk on it. I've been wearing house shoes outside now.
I mean, they're gorgeous.
Thank you. I mean, thank God I have something that I can wear outside. So yeah, it's like, it was black and blue for my shoot yesterday.
No. Yeah, your PLT shoot.
I was literally standing on top of the shoe because I couldn't get my. So yeah, I'm a little mess, but
you're living with it.
I'm living with it. Chloe made me put my foot in a plastic bowl yesterday that was full of ice and water. I felt like there were nails going through my skin. I was like cursing her out at the same time. But yeah, I'm healing. I'll live.
And you sound like you're very well looked after. You've got a strong team.
I do.
And that's really good to know.
Yeah.
Now, random acts of kindness.
Yes.
You might not know what this means right now, what I'm going to ask you. But I saw on your Instagram the other day that you are doing a prom dress giveaway. Yeah. And you know what? It was prior to coming here, and I looked at it and I thought, that's so nice. And the thing you said straight away was, this is not an ad. This is not a partnership. And I was like, wow, she's actually just giving away. I'm going to let you, no, I'm not even speaking, but I'm going to let you talk. Tell me about the prom dress giveaway.
Okay, so I feel like I wake up in the morning and I'm not a good riser. So I always want time before people talk to me, before I look at my phone, before I even get out of the bed. I just need a minute. Yeah. And I feel like that's when my brain is the clearest. And sometimes thoughts and ideas just drop in my head. Mm-hmm. And I don't always act on those thoughts or ideas. And I literally just woke up one morning and I was thinking about a girl that wants to go to prom and probably can't afford it, or is challenged, or probably, or even if she could afford it, wants to have a good time, but her responsibilities are this, and probably just deserves for someone to tell her that you deserve for someone to treat you like. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to take care of someone's prom outfit. I'm going to buy someone a prom dress. So literally when my PA came in, I was like, we're doing a prom dress giveaway. She said, great, let's do it. So, and honestly, it has made me look at life.
And tell me about the way you can enter, because that's what I found really interesting in this day and age, not from yourself, but from that kind of post, what you kind of expect is, okay, for you to enter, you need to follow me, you need to tag, that type of thing. But that's not what you've asked people to do, is it?
No. It's not about me.
And you're doing an amazing thing. Like, think of this girl when she gets, I hope that you maybe share with us.
No, I will. I will share based on her comfort level, you know, because I don't want anyone to feel like they're being exploited or for my benefit, or who knows if it's a really shy girl, whatever. Mm-hmm. I want to make the experience as good as I can possibly make it for them. And then they can do whatever they like to do thereafter.
It's very admirable. I absolutely love that you're doing that. It's incredible. Most important lesson you've learned in life so far?
Life goes on.
Ooh, that wasn't even.
I literally feel like I can sum up life in 3 words. Life goes on, no matter what.
I love that.
I mean, and I mean it in a very. When I walk out of here, this is not like the end of something, but something else is going to go on. You know, like there's just always, whether it's good or bad, there's always a next.
And goals for 2019?
Ooh. Okay, I think that my goals for every year are pretty much the same.
Okay.
So New Year's is my favorite holiday. I think everybody that knows me knows that. And I think it's because I love just the new beginning.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I need to lose weight. I need to gain weight. I want to get my skin together. I'm going to try a new hairstyle. For me, it is just do better than I did the year before. That's all I expect myself to do.
I feel like we should all think like that.
Yeah.
It's a really nice,
because it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. Just do better than you did the year before.
Yeah.
I just get better with time, I think. I pray.
And finally, tell me one thing that people might not know about you. I've sprung this one on you.
I am actually more introverted than people think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, I'm a loner too. Like I eat alone, go see movies alone.
No way.
Oh God, I'll go sit at the park and feed the ducks by myself. Like I love my me time. Me and Malika get along very well.
I can see why.
I recharge my battery that way,
you
know, and like I feel like that's when I really check in with myself. So yeah, I'm a bit more introverted than I may come off.
Well, Malika, I've really, really enjoyed getting to know you on the PLT podcast. I hope that all the listeners have too. I'm sure they have. We can't wait to see what comes in store for you in 2019 with your new acting. Like, let's look out for what's going on. Please shout about it on social because we'll be watching. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you to everybody for listening at home. This has been PLT Behind Closed Doors. If you are enjoying the podcast, make sure to subscribe and leave a review, as it really does help. Thank you very much, Malika. And we'll see you soon.